I'm curious, your involvement with the COVID-19 response. Did you volunteer? Or
Yes, sir.
You volunteered.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to me why you decided to volunteer?
I volunteered because I felt like it was the most I could do.
Because it says here you were working with mortuary affairs.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please explain to me what is it they had you doing?
In the Newark Mortuary Affairs mission, we were caring for the remains of people's loved ones, family members, and friends. Our mission helped alleviate pressure from the hospital, the medical examiner's office, and funeral homes, and we got to work with a lot of amazing people from both Army and Air Force, and the incredible medical staff from the medical facilities. Initial reaction, I believe, was a shared reaction amongst all of us. Everybody stepped up and was prepared to put everything they had into the mission. The numerous people involved all kind of, almost everybody, this was a new situation for everybody. Kind of the difficulties after or before, that's a very personal experience to each individual member of the team. When we were there, it was a combined Army National Guard effort and an Air Force National Guard effort. When we began, we had a team of people who didn't really know each other, and after the first day, after the first 24 hours on mission, we were all, I'd say, the best of friends. Like, we had each other's backs, we were watching out for each other, and that's typical military fashion that you'll find on any mission. Our team, we started with 30 individuals, and halfway through we got more individuals, and by the end of the mission we were 50 strong.
Do you feel that you were with dozens of people, do you feel that working together with these other individuals help you get through what you were tasked to do?
Absolutely. There was no other way that we could have done it without each other. And so, afterwards, I was very proud of everything that we did at the Newark Hospital. And I'd say our experience throughout New Jersey, we had multiple missions. We had individuals in the hospital caring for the sick. We had individuals at testing centers testing sick people and testing people who didn't know if they were sick or not. Everybody who volunteered did an incredible and outstanding job.
Did you have any concerns about catching COVID-19 yourself while you were on this mission for 2 months?
Absolutely. I'd say that it would be crazy not to. During the entire mission, nobody on our crew on the Newark team had gotten sick, and that was only because we took precautions, not just to protect ourselves, but protect each other. If one of us got sick, then it puts the rest of our team members at sick. Every individual did their best, making sure that they were properly protecting themselves so they can protect the rest of the team as well too.
And you pulled it off. Nobody got sick.
Yes, sir.
So the Meadowlands is just an open field, right? Open convention center. And basically what they did is before we arrived and before the Department of Health arrived, they took about, I think, maybe a week or two to create a structure in there. And if you can, it's hard to see, but this was open. But as you can see, this is how they constructed the beds and the rows and different things to make it a functional 250-bed facility.
Was it like constructed like a parking lot?
It was in the convention center itself, so it was on concrete, and to kind of capture what they did, we do have, here's the picture. This is kind of what their overview panoramic of what it looks like after the contractors went in, completed it, did everything. What you saw a lot of pictures of is a lot of personnel, like security forces and whatnot, going in there, setting up beds, setting up rooms, just making sure. On April 1st, we got the tasking, and so we reported, and then we showed up here with the Army on the 3rd of April, and we basically we're ready by Monday to take patients. It's normally when you go into a facility that has brick and mortar, right, you can have those policies. We had to contract the vendors, we had to contract catering companies to be our dietary, and we had to develop policies of how a patient's going to use a bathroom, how they're going to get their blood work, how they're going to get their meds, how's the med cart even going to be functioning. And so that was my responsibility. I was designated the deputy chief nursing officer. There was 2 civilians that were in charge of the whole project. We augmented them, and my role was really to be a liaison between them and the military aspects, because we had providers, we had nurses, we had med techs, all deploy with us, and what their focus was, and my focus was, is to really develop the policies, make sure they were good, they were correct, they were functional, and then the civilian would come in and we would train them and walk them through it and make sure they're doing everything right. If anything goes wrong, I'm fixing it. So,
but how much time did you have to develop all these policies?
We got there on a Friday and we had till Monday. 3 days, 2 days. So we had to have a skeleton, and then basically, yeah, so it was crazy, but it worked. It was long hours for me and the Department of Health and everybody there, but it was fun, and it was actually it was great to work as a team together, because it was a lot of collaboration with OEM, Department of Health, the Army, and the Air Force, and just all the vendors and EMS. Everyone was it was really cool. Great to meet a lot of people and just have those contacts. And that was strictly, we had to hone down and make sure that everybody was following those procedures correctly, because if they weren't, then everybody could be exposed. So we were very strict up front, and then we slowly, as the evidence came out, slowly backed away, and slowly, okay, so this is better, this is how we're going to do it, and just kind of worked it out. But we managed.
Did you find, was this more of a mental challenge, or because you talked about changing the oxygen tanks and emptying commodes, or was it more of a physical challenge?
So I would say it was mental. Well, with the military, we're a little different. Our mindset's different. When war, whatever, you're set, you're gone, boom. For me, it wasn't so much, because I'm used to it. But towards the end of the time, then it started getting mentally fatiguing, because I haven't seen my family in a while. I started getting time off, but for the first 3 weeks, I was working. I think I worked every day straight, like 10 hours, up to 12, 16 hours. I know there was a stretch where I was working 8 hours straight. 8 days straight, up to 14 hours. We took breaks, but it was tough, because, you had to maintain this 24-hour operation. So I just think it was a great experience. Looking back at it, reflecting it, I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot about leadership. I learned a lot about interactions between different agencies, between Army, OEM, EMS, just all of them, and how well, when everything works, when everybody works as a team, it works well. And I think we set the standard as far as all the EMSs go. The field medical stations go.